I 33F cheated on my fiance, 34M. Left for someone younger and now I regret everything. Throwaway because people in my life know my main. My ex, I will call him Jay, and I were together for 10 years. I'm 33 and he is 34. We met young. I was 20 and he was 21. Built basically our entire adult lives together. We lived in his family home. Had 2 dogs together that felt like our kids. And at one point we were engaged with a date set for April 2023. From the outside, Jay looks like a catch. He is smart, has a bunch of cars that he restores. It's very loyal, very routine, very solid. He helped me get my driver's license back after a DUI. Helped me save money when I lost everything. Kept my money safe from my dad when I was trying to buy a car. And even found and maintained that car for me. My dad tried many times to take the money and Jay refused even after I begged him. My dad found a way around it. I got my own car. Jay fixed everything, planned everything, handled bills, and honestly kept my life from falling apart more times than I can count. The problem is that somewhere along the way, I stopped feeling like a partner and started feeling like a dependent or a project. Everything in our life revolved around his plans, his cars, his schedule. If we traveled, he planned it. If anything broke, he handled it. If I had feelings about something, it turned into a long talk about how I was not communicating right or was being emotional. I felt like I had no power over my own life. I wanted to be more spontaneous, and he was more of the planning type. I will admit I have not been perfect either. In 2016, I messed up badly. I reconnected with an ex and met him secretly at Dave & Buster's. We took photos in the booth and things crossed the line. Jay found out because my brother told him, and he also saw the pictures on my phone. It exploded. He came to my work and caused a scene, and the police were called. I felt humiliated and terrified. In the end, I begged him to take me back, promised it would never happen again, and we stayed together. I tried to just bury that and move on, but I know it damaged his trust a lot. It took me years to get him to trust me again. Even before and after that, I tended to get validation from other men when Jay and I were not doing well. I would talk to guys from work or the gym, or keep in touch with old flings too long, not physically cheating but venting and flirting to feel wanted. Jay didn't trust me and demanded to share locations on our phones. When Jay found bits of me talking with other guys, he saw it as triangulating and betrayal. I saw it as just talking, but looking back, I can see how it felt like there were always other men in the background. I got mad every time he would bring it up and told him I would never cheat because I never wanted to go through the painful reconciliation process ever again. Everyone knew I cheated and I hated it. I started to get irritated because we still lived at his parents' house and I wanted us to move out and start our own family. He refused and said that our finances didn't allow for it. Eventually in 2021, he took me on a trip up the California coast and proposed to me over the cliffs at Point Lobos. He got me a beautiful ring, and I was really excited and showed everyone. I loved how people would notice it and ask about it. He told me he saw a future with me and wanted to have kids together and start a family, even if we didn't have our own house yet. In 2022, for our 10-year anniversary, we went to Cancun and stayed at a really nice resort. It was supposed to be our big reset. On the last night, I made friends with one of the bartenders, and he got me extremely drunk. Jay took me back to the hotel room to sleep where we got into an argument and I completely lost control. I tried to get away from him, was screaming for help in Spanish, and at one point I actually punched him in the face. Jay FaceTimed my friends to get me to stop. He filmed some of it and later showed me the video. I honestly barely remembered it. Watching myself like that was horrible. He insisted I watch the videos and I really didn't like that. After that, he told me he could not go through with the wedding and canceled it. That broke something in me. Instead of feeling like we would work through it, I felt like he had decided I was broken and unsafe. Around this time, I started confiding more in my friends. One of my oldest friends, he lived in the Bay Area and had just left her husband and said she had never been happier. She kept telling me that life was too short to stay with someone if you were not completely in love. That responsibility and being taken care of was not enough. That I deserved passion and fun. And that Jay was holding me back. She would tell me stories about how her husband was stable but not the right match, and it was like she was describing my life. She also talked a lot about not letting a man control you financially or emotionally. I went to visit her and we ended up hanging out at her place the whole time because she had a major conflict with her ex and who was supposed to take care of their son that weekend. Soon after, I found myself not wanting to go home after work. I started going to the gym more often and I would stay really late. Jay started questioning me, so I started a fight about how he was too controlling and I stopped sharing my location with him. I stopped wearing the engagement ring and told him it was because it was too big and uncomfortable. That's about the time that I met C at the gym. He was fit, attractive, and gave me lots of nice attention that made me feel really good. He was 18 then. I know how that sounds. I did not go after him because of his age. It just kind of happened. He was confident, outgoing, playful, and he made me feel young and seen. We would text, hang out at the gym till 2 a.m., then hang out at the beach, go for drives, all the things I had secretly wanted to do but did not feel like I got with Jay anymore. It started as emotional cheating. I told myself it was harmless. It obviously was not. Eventually it turned physical. Jay is very observant and tech-savvy, and started noticing things. He saw changes in my Instagram. Then I deleted pictures of us and only left these free and adventurous-looking posts. He asked questions, I lied and said I was out, hiking with girlfriends. When I was at the beach with C, this, plus the ring sitting in the medicine cabinet. He put the pieces together and confronted me. That was August 2023. I denied it, but he swiped my phone out of my hands and locked himself in the bathroom. That's when the shit hit the fan. He went through my phone, saw the deleted messages with C, and everything came out. He called C using my phone and asked if we had been cheating behind his back. C admitted it, and Jay called me a liar and a cheater and said I had done the same thing in 2016 and never really changed. He said I had ruined our trust forever and destroyed our relationship. He told me he was going to call my family, my coworkers, everyone, and tell them what I had done. I felt cornered and ashamed. I lashed out and told him I did not love him anymore and that the love had faded years ago and I was just hoping he would change. I do not even know if that is fully true or if I said it because I needed to justify leaving. I moved out that same day and went straight to C's parents' house. I stayed the night there, we had sex, and the next day I went to go find a room to rent. I got my number changed. Jay did call everyone like he said. He told my relatives, my coworkers, even family in Mexico. I felt like my entire life had been put on blast and his side was the only one people heard. I clung harder to C at that point because I felt like I had burned every other bridge. After some months of back and forth, I convinced Jay that C was out of the picture, until Jay finally said in March 2024 that he wanted the truth about me and all the guys I had been talking to during our relationship. He said he knew I was cheating more than just the times he found out, and I just froze and denied it. Deep down I knew he was right, but I was not going to admit what he didn't know, despite his hunches or suspicions. I had hooked up with a few guys that he didn't know about, a handful of one-night stands, and I hooked up with one of his car friends when we were at an event in Vegas. I admitted I had been a terrible girlfriend, but I did not admit to the cheating he didn't already have proof of. He said he didn't believe me anyway, called me a cradle robber, and said he never wanted to speak to me ever again. He blocked me and told me it was permanent. He kept the dogs, told me I would never see them again. That really hurt, but I also knew I had no right to argue. That same day, things escalated in a really awful way. I had told C some things I felt about Jay, like being scared of his temper or how intense he can be. I told C that Jay was abusive and used to hit his mother, but I was making it up and was just mad and riled up. C somehow got it in his head that Jay might go after his younger brother. There was also something about Jay knowing where they lived. C is a black belt in Taekwondo and showed up at Jay's house wanting to fight. But Jay somehow calmed him down and they talked. Jay showed him our text messages and pictures that we had sent since the breakup. And it looked like I had twisted things or exaggerated to make Jay look dangerous. Jay also showed him the pictures of me cheating in 2016, which was weird to me, that he still had the pictures. He also showed C the video of me punching Jay in the face in Cancun. C was so mad, he called me and I admitted I lied about still keeping in touch with Jay since the breakup. C ended up apologizing to Jay and walked away feeling like he had been lied to by me. C drove down to the end of the street to pick me up where I was waiting at the park, and Jay drove down the street in his truck and saw as I was getting into C's car. It was humiliating and made me look manipulative and crazy. I had no contact with Jay after that mess. Then earlier this year, my mom saw a post on Facebook that Jay's father had passed away. I lived in that house for 10 years. His dad was basically my family too. I felt crushed. I called Jay several times, but he has my number blocked and never picked up. One of his dad's best friends came into where I work by coincidence, and I brought Jay up, hoping the friend would maybe mention that I wanted to reach out. Then I decided to buy flowers and go to the house in person. The house looked so different. Everything was repainted. There was a new camera doorbell and everything. When Jay opened the door, he was ice cold. He said, "Can I help you?" like I was a stranger. The dogs came to the door and they stopped as soon as he told them, and I felt like a stranger to them. I tried to hand him the flowers and say I was there because of his dad. He immediately brought up the incident with C coming to his house and asked if I had anything to say for myself. I just froze. I felt put on the spot and ashamed, and I could not get any words out besides repeating that I was there for his father. He took the flowers but made it clear he did not want me there, and that the last time I had been around I had sent my boyfriend to attack him. I left and he has kept no contact since. Now it has been over 2 years since the breakup. He seems to be doing fine, working on his cars, traveling. He got the house after his dad died and is building his life. He isn't in a relationship yet as far as that I can tell. I am still with C, but it is nothing like the fantasy I had in my head. We argue. He is young and does not really understand responsibility. And I find myself missing the life I had with Jay, even though I also remember feeling controlled and suffocated. I still drive the car that Jay got me, and even though it's getting pretty old, I don't ever plan to get rid of it. I see a lot of cars on the road that reminded me of JC's parents are divorced, but they are well off and they make sure he is taken care of financially. So even though he can be immature, I do get some kind of solace knowing we have a lot of cushion or help if we need it. But I'm still stuck working 2 jobs, paying off debt that I racked up behind Jay's back. Sometimes I look back at everything, including the 2016 cheating with my ex, the flirting and cheating with other men when I felt neglected, the Cancun incident where I got so drunk I punched Jay and he canceled the wedding, how I hid loans from him, and then the whole situation with C and the confrontation at Jay's house, and I feel like I am the worst person alive. Other times I tell myself I was just unhappy and did what I had to do to get out of something that was slowly killing me emotionally. So now I do not know what to think or what to do from here. I can't get it off my mind. I came here to vent because I don't feel like I can tell any of my friends because I've spent so long sticking to a version of the story that makes me look like a victim instead of a villain. I've lost a few friends over this already, and even quit one of my jobs because I kept getting made fun of by my coworkers every time a young guy would walk in.